They'd be more than one step up, Mr. Thompson.
This is all subjective. This is what I hear. Doesn't mean it's what you hear.
Serena.
Jeffrey.
Now, if you just give your bank PIN and your blood type...
Nobody has access to your phone number, though.
I know.
But you do have to trace your house key on the screen.
Right.
Twice.
No, Cobra Kai. You remember the Karate Kid movies from the 80s?
Yeah.
So, see, that's why I didn't get the iPhone 12, because I'm hopefully theoretically waiting for next year when Touch ID will come back.
This time last year, we were just all sitting like, oh, that's weird. They're talking about this coronavirus overseas. Huh.
Like, what is a webiner?
Then you're like, oh, read by letter. Gotcha.
If you
Josh
know what a
pronounces things
webiner
so
is,
weird.
give us a call at 612-367-9063 and let us know what a webiner is.
Webiner.
There you go.
A webiner.
That is the word of the day.
Yeah, I wish you could just shut the dock off. Can you? That's a good question.
Couldn't tell you.
I don't know. I'm not a Mac person.
You're asking the wrong audience, Jeff. You're outnumbered now.
PC1 and PC2. All right, live from the Blind Abilities studio. Welcome to Tech Abilities. I'm Jeff Thompson from Friendly Freely, Minnesota. Serena, how you doing?
I'm doing well in warm Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Is it warm?
Today was like 65.
Moving on. Jesse, back here in Minnesota. Jesse Anderson, how are you doing?
Yeah, well, I'm in Minnesota too, and it is definitely not 65 here. 65 would be about perfect right now, actually.
Is it like 6 plus 5?
I think
not
the
even.
high was supposed to be like 32 today, but it's supposed to plummet, I think, in the next day or two.
Tonight, the forecast is around -11 and clear. Due to current wind conditions, it feels like it's -31.
Yeah, we got sleet
goody.
coming, we got snow coming, we got the whole 9 yards.
9 feet.
That's
Probably.
no, we're not the East Coast. They said they got like 22 inches or something last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But it's typical for Minnesota. But we've not had a bad January, so February is coming in like a lion.
Darn groundhog.
Yeah.
I know. What's that, Puxatumi?
Puxatony Phil.
They said he was like scared because of the snow. So they attributed that to him just running back in, I guess.
That's really bad. We're in for it. We're in for it. Thanks, Pucks.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of being able to work from home. I don't have to care.
It is nice. That is really nice. Although I have
Yeah.
to go pick up my son from school. So even though it's a whole 50 yards away, it could still be not fun walking over there. But they call snow days whenever, so.
Yeah, we had a snow day once. A couple of years ago, the governor called for a snow day, and everyone went, what? Whoa.
The governor called it?
Yeah, because Minnesota's kind of rough and tough. We don't call snow days, you know.
No, not very often. I think I remember that, actually. I'm like, wait, really? It's not that bad out.
Is he really from Minnesota?
Yeah.
Transplant.
Well, that was the funniest thing about living down in Florida for a few years. It was like it would get down to 40 degrees and people were like panicking and putting on their puffy coats. And I'm like walking to work in a windbreaker going, yeah, this is great.
It's funny how like relatively, like in the summer, if it was 65 out, I'd be like, man, it's kind of chilly today. But now it's like I tried to work outside today, and if it wouldn't have been for the wind, I would have actually been able to work outside on February 3rd. Like that would have been awesome. It was definitely warm enough.
Well, with all this cold, you'd hate to drop your iPhone because, you know, in Minnesota, it's cold. Anything would break. But something that's breaking quite more often than an iPhone is the Galaxy S21 Ultra.
I don't know what happened to, like, wasn't the last one like an 11 or something? Like, did they just, like, what happened to all the other numbers?
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of all the models. I know it was like the Galaxy S something, and then it went to the S10 or 1, or I don't remember, but
S21 Ultra.
So it's like 7 inches diagonal for a phone. What?
But at one drop, it broke. The glass broke, not on one side, but two sides.
Did they claim it was like indestructible or anything like Apple did with their ceramic, whatever they call that glass?
The Galaxy 21 Ultra is using Corning Gorilla Glass Victus, which they claim was one of the strongest yet.
I know Apple was using Gorilla Glass for a while.
This one broke on both sides, and so they tried it higher, and it kept on breaking, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max outdid it. So There you go, folks. We're just passing on information that we find out there in the world. So get a good case. Get one of those heavy-duty, big, ultra cases for your Galaxy. What's your favorite big, ultra, heavy-duty case there, Serena?
You know I hate the otter boxes. I hate those. I like having as thin of a case I can have on my phone, but still have a little bit of a buffer on it, so if it falls on its face, it's not hitting the pavement directly.
Same here. I had friends who had the OtterBox, and I just never really liked them. They're just way too big and clunky. The other thing I didn't like was it had like the screen protector on it, and I thought that the sensitivity for the screen was just... It decreased the sensitivity so much that I really did not like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about the screen protector part of it because sometimes the screen protector thing would like wiggle and move the way that it was designed.
Yeah, and like your gestures just wouldn't always register, whereas with it off, it would just be, pretty much flawless.
Nope, I had it. I popped it out right away, and then everything else that I had in my pocket would sit right in that pocket and come out. Every time I pulled the phone out, it was like, Jeff, you dropped that. Whoop, where's this? Where's that?
It's your purse built into your phone.
I lost my ID one time. We were out, and they asked for my ID, which I was flattered. And yet I couldn't find it. So it was like, oh no, this is bad. And it was suction cupped right inside my OtterBox case.
Yeah, but Serena, you joke, about, it's just taking your wallet with you. But that joke's on you because that's with their little magnetic case with their iPhone 12s. You can get the little wallet thingy on the back. You can put like a card in there now.
Three cards, 1.5 titaniums.
I would really like to see that because they obviously didn't make that for girls because we don't just, we require more things with us than just our phone case. And even guys' wallets nowadays, like I've seen some wallets that are like easily 1.5 inches thick, full of stuff.
No, I got a bunch of like cards and just, all my ID.
Loyalty cards.
All that kind of stuff. And I got my trusty old duct tape wallet.
Barely closes anymore.
No, it's actually made out of duct tape.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you can buy it on Amazon for like $10. It's pretty cool.
When you open it, does it go quack, quack, quack?
Oh my goodness.
Just checking. Just checking.
Just a sigh.
Serena,
such a bad dad joke over there.
Serena, your Serena, your HomePods.
Now he's Daffy Duck.
now you Porky Pig.
There you go.
Can you move your phone closer to your HomePod?
No, I cannot.
You won't, or you could?
I will not. So here's the backstory. I updated to 14.4 maybe yesterday or the day before. Mm-hmm. Normally I don't update so quickly anymore, but mostly because I got an alert from, ironically, LifeLock that was like, you need to update your phone. Like there's a big security patch. I'm like, that's weird. They never tell us that. So I went ahead and did it. And I was picking up my phone because it only does it with the HomePod Mini because of the fancy chip that's in there. And it's on my desk maybe 2 feet from me. And as I would pick up my phone, I noticed this subtle vibration. I was like, well, that's weird. I just thought it was vibrating when I locked my phone and when I unlocked it, like maybe that was a new feature. And then I moved it closer and then I was like, well, maybe I have the magnifier on by accident and it's doing the people detection or something. And then lo and behold, something pops up at some point that was like, want to transfer your audio to the HomePod? And I'm like, oh, that's what it is. But you can turn it off, but then that turns off the ability to be able to hand off to your HomePod altogether. It doesn't just turn off the weird vibration thing.
Oh, so you can't go into haptics and shut that off?
No, because I don't even have my voiceover haptics even on. I guess it's a sighted people thing too, where it's annoying them. Especially because HomePod minis are more likely to be sitting just on your desk right in front of your phone.
Yep.
I mean, they're small. It's designed for a small space. That's where you're going to find it.
Can you imagine all your appliances having this and you walk through your kitchen, your fridge says, God. I'm over here. Your toaster's, I'm over here.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, that's
man.
just it. They had a heck of a sale last holiday on the new Echo, the little sphere thing. And I bought one, put it in my bedroom, but then I'm like, well, what the heck do I do with my Echo Dot? So now I have a regular old first-gen Echo in the living room, a Dot in the kitchen, the new one in the bedroom. I'm like, well, we're almost there. I just need one in the bathroom now.
You never know when you'll need to play music or get a factoid while you're in the bathroom.
You never know.
Another thing about the HomePods is in Big Sur, it's rumored that it might be coming that you'll be able to pair up stereo speakers to your Mac.
How is that not something you were already able to do? I don't understand.
Right?
That makes absolutely no sense to me.
Yeah, especially since like even with like Google and Amazon, like I think those, like if you have two of the same, you can pair those up already.
You can pair two HomePods. You can't pair a HomePod and a HomePod Mini, but you can pair two, of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
What this is that you can then pair them with your Mac. And I don't understand how that's not already been something that you could do. Like, that is shocking to me.
I thought it would be automatic.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, Serina, you are the one that always believes, I thought you could already do that.
Yeah, I guess I'm just naive.
Well, no, it is something that everybody wanted, and now rumor has it, who knows, this is some company that has some inside scoop, maybe, who knows. Mm-hmm. But it seems like something that, like you said, it should have been there already. I hope they do get it, because if I had two of them, that would be kind of cool.
One on each side.
Yeah.
Especially the little ones. You don't need two big ones. That would just be way too much if it's just like at a computer setup. But the two little ones would be a nice little setup, especially if you're watching like a video editing or your audio editing. That could really make a difference.
Or if you had a Mac Mini where you don't have the speakers built into the iMac.
That's true too.
Because iMacs, I do have pretty good speakers already, but those would be one step up, I believe.
They'd be more than one step up, Mr. Thompson.
Well, Randy Rusnak took one step up, and he just got what he calls the iPod Max, but we know what he really has, the AirPod Max.
Hi, everybody. Randy Rusnak here. I just thought I would come by to the Blind Abilities folks and just tell them thanks for letting me come on again and talk about my experience with the iPod Max. I think they're fantastic. The only thing that saddens me a little bit is the music from the 50s and 60s really sounds bad. I hear distortion on some of their stuff, and why wouldn't we? Because it was recorded differently back then. Moving forward to the 60s, 70s, 80s, and, up and up and up. I hear so many things I've never heard before, and this is all subjective. This is what I hear. Doesn't mean it's what you hear. But I hear brushes on drums. I hear strings with their bows touching the strings on string instruments. I hear people's mouths begin to open when they start to sing, either in the beginning of the song or during the middle when choruses start to sing. It's just tremendous. I love the transparency of the headphones, and I find that when I turn them on, I just hear better. And it doesn't change the sound. For me, I can still navigate through my home with the headphones on, with the transparency on, because I just hear everything around me. That's all I really have to say. I'm really impressed, and I do hope they make a lighter version for people who would like one. So, let me see. That's about it. Let me open my drawer here. Jeff, here you go. Unbiased opinion. 10, 20, 30, $100. Whew, man, you're getting expensive. See you guys.
Well, Serina, he thinks they're a little heavy too. He recognizes that. That was he wasn't going to mention it till the very end, but he threw that in there. So hey, he hears you.
Yeah, I'm really curious to hear other. I mean, I know no tech ability show is complete without a discussion of headphones. But I'm genuinely curious because everyone said that they love them, and they absolutely. I'm curious if anyone else. Maybe because things are starting to open up more. Maybe you've gotten a chance to go check them out at your Apple store. I'm curious what people think.
If I go to an Apple store or something down the road, like, I'll look at them just to see what they're like, see, just how heavy they are, see what their audio quality is. Cause I'm just not sure, especially for that big of a price. But I do have to say that I've been using them quite a bit more the last couple of weeks. And I am really loving these Aftershokz OpenComm headphones, especially for chatting on the phone and then just, going back and forth between like using voiceover, reading or podcasts, audiobooks, and then like I get a call. I'm really liking these things.
They're very light, right?
They're very light. And like we had mentioned in one of the earlier episodes, it's Bluetooth headphones generally have really terrible microphone audio, especially stereo headphones due to the way they work. And
you hate those microphones. I know that.
Yeah. But I mean, these are actually quite good. I'm quite happy with them. And I know this wasn't on the agenda here, but I thought of something else that other people may want to know. Speaking of iOS 14, there was an update not too terribly long ago, and if you are a Braille display user, you might want to hold off on an update because apparently they kind of done broke it a little bit. And you can use the Braille displays, I guess, but there's some models apparently where, especially when you, let's say you lock your device and then you want to wake up your iPhone, iPad with your Braille display, that is not working. So you now have to go in and like actually kind of reconnect them, or like, just kind of like, hey, connect them again, and then they'll work again, but it's not like a seamless wake up and just start using it again, and which can be really, really bad. It's inconvenient for some, but it's actually really, really unfortunate for especially deafblind who really rely on Braille primarily or exclusively.
That's a good point.
There's a couple of workarounds, and Rocky, I was talking to her, and Rocky couldn't make it today because of some work obligations that she had to do. And she was telling me that they got some workarounds, and they've actually fixed some other things in it that are good. And so she's weathering the storm, and she still loves the Mantis. It's the Mantis and the Chameleon from APH, basically made by Humanware.
Yep.
She did say that Apple needs to fix a few things in their whole Braille network. I'm not even qualified to be speaking about it, but she relayed that. But she'll be back on next show and go into details. And hopefully they have a fix for it, because, Apple does pretty good about accessibility, and I'm sure they are reckoning it right now.
Yeah. And, I am curious to see how quickly they do address that, because, people say, well, it's an accessibility thing. When they do their next update, they'll get it out or whatever. But I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he was saying something about like, well, imagine that, all of a sudden, like your screen stopped working or your speaker stopped working. It's something that like a mainstream user would use. And like that just wouldn't fly. But, it's an accessibility thing. We can get to that. It's kind of like a secondary tier almost, even though, yes, they're great at accessibility. But like they, QA or whatever, they would never let that. I don't think they would let something that, that core to how you interact or operate a phone or a tablet, if that were like the screen that wouldn't turn back on or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. I think they have a good track record with it, and we got Rocky that'll feed us the information. She did say there's a workaround, and she said they fixed some other things that really haven't hit the airwaves right now, and she's still happy with it. She loves her Mantis, and I'm going to see if we can get someone on to talk about that too. So we'll see about that on next show.
Yeah, we're hoping. I'm trying to get one ordered for our transition library, and when we do, I am definitely going to play with it because I'm very, very curious about the Mantis as well, because that's really one of the cooler ones out there now.
Mm-hmm. She loves it. Serina.
Jeffrey.
Clubhouse.
Yes.
All you need to know about accessibility.
Uh-huh.
On the Blindy blog.
Yes. I've been written a blog since March, I don't think. And then this is the one I come back with.
Good timing, because it's popular. I know one investment firm just invested $100 million into Clubhouse.
That's awesome. It's a great app. It really is. They've got a lot of bugs to fix. But in the App Store, it doesn't even say it says it's like version 0.1 something. So it's clearly a beta and early.
Mm-hmm. 0.1.
Yeah, it doesn't even have a 1 in front of it.
That's how much snow you guys got compared to us.
Well, it's funny. It was supposed to snow. They said there's a big storm coming, but it's only going to hit the mountains. So I guess that's the difference with us, is we get mountains to take the brunt of a lot of the storm.
And we get the rest. Yep.
Yeah. We'll just send more your way on, over the weekend.
But on your blog page, I saw it go out on Twitter and stuff like that. And I got the email because I subscribed to your blog. Can you tell people how they can find your blog?
Yeah, it's blindyblog.com. So BLINDY.com. That's not right. BLINDYBLOG.com. I can spell. I really can. It's also the same on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. The contest that I'm running will probably be over by the time this rolls out, but they sent me more invitations, Jeff. So I'll probably do another one. But right now, if you go write a comment on the post, I'm going to randomly pick a couple of people to throw an invitation to you so you can test it out.
I threw in a couple.
Strength in number. Yeah, even Jeff threw in some in his blind abilities group. So strength in numbers.
I got 5 now. 5
so
invites.
do I. I went in there and was like, you now have 5. And I was like, I didn't get rid of the first 2 you gave me 2 days ago. Sweet. Like, we must be inviting good people.
Well, I jumped in a group, and it was a group of people on voiceover, voice artists and
There's
stuff.
a lot of groups like that right now.
Yeah, and I jumped in there, and they said, so who's that Blind Abilities? Tell us about yourself. Your mic's open. Your
Were
mic's
you
open.
like, oh gosh,
Oh, yeah. So
what did Serena say to do again?
I switched it back, and
Did you hear the chime? Because it does. I started noticing the chime now. It's very subtle, but there is a chime when they invite you to be a speaker.
I was in panic mode for a second, but I knew what I had to do, and I did it. So I suggest people read that blog if you're interested in it. And Serena's one that is in contact with them to make sure that accessibility gets addressed. But I think right now they're in such a growing phase that, I hope they're heard. I hope they fix a few things that we can interact with it, because some buttons aren't labeled, and I explore and I dance around and stuff like that. So not really dancing, but
trial and error. You can't really mess up anything on it. That's a nice thing.
Yeah, and it's pretty neat. What I'm really impressed is in the room, you're all talking like you're really in the room. There is no ducking. Feels really comfortable when they open up the mics, But typically, if you get into a room, someone may be talking, you come in, you may be muted as you come into it, and then they might address you, hey, Serena. And they open up your microphone, but you have to accept that you're going to do it. And that's the part where you have to switch to
screen recognition.
Yep. Switch it over to turn that on. Then up near the top, you can find it and tap it, and you're ready to go.
Definitely have headphones on when you're doing it, because as soon as you hit I will be a speaker, you are unmuted. You are live.
And your voiceover is too.
Yes. So I always make sure to have my AirPods or my headphones near when I think I'm going to want to be part of the discussion.
And then you can leave quietly, I found out.
Yeah, the little emoji on it is it makes me laugh every time, because I'll go push it and it's peace sign. Peace. And it's leave quietly. There's a lot of emoji throughout this app, I've noticed. They love emoji. Even in their help topics, everything's got an emoji with it.
You can find out groups that are active right now. And if you do like the group or join the group, then you'll get notifications when they're opening up. So yeah, this can only grow. And I'm excited. I am.
Jeff and I are going to host something. I tried to get him last Sunday, but he was on the ice playing hockey.
Yeah.
But we will. I was scared to start a room all by myself, because I don't want to, because I wanted to start a closed one with us first so that we could test a few things and then go live and just see what happens.
Yeah. Like I said, it's something new. I'm excited for it. And it's audio. And you don't have to worry about, it seems like audio, but fretting about the screen, the accessibility. But
yeah,
hopefully it gets better.
Other than reading that article, I'd heard the name of the service and the app and whatnot, but I haven't really, looked into it much more than that. And so is it more it's just almost just like a live chat room? There's nothing really archived, like when you post something to, any other social network, it's pretty much
gone
up there, or at least for a certain period of time.
Yep. You're not allowed to record. Nope. It's gone. It's just straight live.
Okay.
You're not allowed to record, although I'm sure people do. It's truly an in the moment thing. And it's even different. I don't know how to describe it. It's so much more than just live chat. It's
like this right here, what we're doing right now.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of almost sounds like, the voice channel of Discord or something.
But it's just so many people that you would never meet. Discord, I feel attracts similar people. You know what I mean? Because it's Discord.
So if you feel you're a twin that was separated at birth, go to Discord. You might find your other twin.
I like a room on Sunday that talks about hair care. It's just that specific. Or everyone was super excited because apparently Elon Musk was on, I don't know, Monday or Sunday or something. It's so much bigger than that. I don't even know how to describe it. The conversations that are had.
Is the hair care one that you sent me a little message saying they're talking about your favorite topic?
It was the one where I was trying to start a room with you, with just me and you, so that we could then, because you can start a room that's closed first just to get going with the people that you want in there.
Oh, yeah.
And
right
then you
the
can open it up
screen.
to everyone. I hadn't labeled the room. So
okay.
So what happens is Clubhouse just kind of does these default messages if you invite someone and things like that.
I mean, just the way you kind of describe it, and I'm curious what kind of audiences it's going to attract as it grows and everything. But I'm thinking about some of the stuff that I do outside of work, just in some of the tech and game accessibility stuff, and just being able to, even open some sort of a group or a chat or something, and then just, people can come in and join or just see what other things are out there, especially looking at audio and game accessibility and that kind of thing. That might be kind of a unique tool that might catch,
and you can
that
get that
could catch on.
specific. I mean, there's
Yeah.
the other night, there was one day, I think it was like the second day I had it, I was just scrolling through and it made me laugh so hard. There was a room where they were literally just making prank phone calls.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, that's the kind of thing. I mean, what other social media platform can you find where you can gather with a bunch of just silly people and listen to them make prank phone calls live? Like,
Yeah, so if you did accessible gaming type of thing and you had like 4 of your friends that are really going to talk about it, but you put it out there in the Twitterverse or wherever verse, you put it out there.
And it's public.
People can drop in there. So you guys might have your 4 mics on and then someone will monitor it and go, oh, wow, we got 36 other people. Who are they? You know, and then you
and
might
they can
say,
raise their hand to try to join
Yeah.
the conversation too.
Yeah, I mean, it might be kind of an interesting thing to kind of take a look at. So, yeah, I'll have to.
Well, the way that it works is since it isn't a beta, because there's been a lot of questions about it, because I've posted it in a couple of groups. Everyone's like, I reserved my username, but nothing's happened. Well, nothing's probably going to happen for a while if all you did was reserve the username, because there's a massive wait list. I couldn't even guess how many are on it. So the only way to really get in is if someone invites you. And I think with these new, I think I've had maybe 11 invites total in the 2-3 weeks I've been on it. So they're not just throwing out like hundreds of invites.
Right.
So, and it's kind of funny because it makes you very selective of who you give it to, because you want to grow the community in a way that's, you know, because your name is attached to the person that you invite forever. So like if you went on Jeff's
interesting.
profile, it says nominated by Serina Gilbert. So it's a way, you don't want your name attached to somebody who's just being god awful in the
I took
rooms.
my invite and ran right out in the fluffy snow and ran around the yard a few times and came back in, and Lori called the doctor again. No, it was really cool. And then all of a sudden, since I was active on it doing stuff, they gave me 2 more. Then they gave me 3 more. It's nice. I don't know enough about it, but I'm curious enough to start to get in and open my mouth, you know?
Yeah.
You can't just get into a group and hide.
Right.
All of a sudden you're in there, they're talking, all of a sudden someone goes,
Hey, what do
and
you
who's
think?"
that guy?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden your mic is going on and stuff. It's like, oh no.
I've never
Yeah.
seen anyone be disrespectful though. Like it seems to be a
No.
very, very supportive group and lots of people from all kinds of different backgrounds just getting together. I mean, it's just one of those things, Jesse, let me know. I mean, if you want an invite, I have extra, so does Jeff, so we can hook you up.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind taking
It's
a look at it.
just, I don't know. It's Jeff. I don't know. And I think part of the way they're doing this is a marketing thing, because it's one of those things where it's like, it's exclusive, so I have to have it, you know? It's really smart when you think about it. Like, it's not like when Twitter and Facebook came around and everyone who wanted one could have one. This is like, you feel special when you get one, you know?
I feel like going out on the street corner in that trench coat and open up one sign and say, I got invites.
I got the Clubhouse invites. What are you looking for?
Yeah.
But I'm really passionate about sharing the invites with, I mean, I invited a couple of my family members too. I really mostly have been giving them to other members of the blindness community and people that I know that will also send in the bug reports. Because if they get the same email 20 times, eventually they're just going to get tired of getting that email.
I saw Mr. CG on there.
Yes, I sure did. He's going to laugh when he hears this. I had asked him like 3 times. I was like, if I give you a Clubhouse invite, are you going to use it? He's like, well, I'll check it out, but I might. And I was like, but are you going to use it? If I like it, I'm like, I asked him the day the GameStop stuff like was at its peak, and I was like, did you hear any cool discussions on that on Clubhouse? And he's like, I bet there were some good discussions on there. I forgot all about Clubhouse. And I'm like, of course.
The people you marry.
I know. Did you give LT one?
No.
Lori, you better get on that.
The thing is, I'm going to give mine to someone that I know is willing to turn on the certain features for us to access it right now. I could have gave it away to a lot of people, but some people get frustrated with technology sometimes.
And then they complain and it's not a good look for
it's
us.
not, and they won't do it,
Yeah.
So no, so I still have all my, I don't have any friends really.
Oh, poor Mr. Thompson.
It comes down to that. So I'll probably have 5.
Join the club.
invites.
I'm pretty much a hermit, so.
It sounds like Jesse's getting an invite pretty soon here.
Jesse, I'm giving you an invite. I'll send you one.
All right, then.
You do have to have the person's phone number to give it to them. That's another way where it can't just.
Huh.
Wow.
You can't just kind of, I don't know how to describe it. You can't just invite whoever. Like it's someone who you trust to have your phone number and somebody who that person trusts. Because the way the invite's sent is it pulls up the contacts and sends them a text message.
Part of me is like really intrigued and curious, but part of me is like, boy, it's like, okay, we're gonna list who referred you. You need your phone number. Now, if you just give your bank PIN and your blood type,
nobody has access to your phone number though. Like,
oh yeah, I know, but I'm just,
yeah.
I'm just,
but you do have to trace your house key on the screen.
right.
Twice, just to make sure it's accurate.
Now trace it one more time.
I'm like, what am I signing up for? I'm like,
I will say I don't feel like, you have to be careful who you follow because I'm about to go and follow someone because every time I turn around, they're in a room and I'm getting a notification. I'm like, good Lord.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, you can turn off how often you get notifications about those individuals, but there's some people that are just, I don't know how they have the time, but it seems like they're on Clubhouse literally all day. Which I guess I could see how it happens if you're just listening to it in the background, while you're working.
yeah, I suppose, but
I don't, there's people on WhatsApp groups that are on there all the time, and it's like you want to jump on the group and just say, all right, people, there's a world out there. Mm-hmm. Go out and stand 6 feet away from someone.
I had to get off of WhatsApp because the only reason I was on it was because of you, Jeff. And then we started communicating just with text. But then I was in like a tech group and stuff. And then all of a sudden they're like, some of these WhatsApp messages are like 10 minutes long. And you're like, I'm not going to listen to that. That is like...
There's some groups that I'm on and I'm on them, but some of them I kind of monitor or I just browse through it a little bit here and there and, get a gist. And it's a good group of people, but I don't lie. I just straight up, I don't have the time to really go through that much time on some of them. So I do skip around, and every once in a while when I do have the time, I kind of clean them up a little bit, jump around a little bit and see if something interests me and, what links they post, to what topics and stuff. So I do skim through it, and it is pretty cool because on WhatsApp, you can actually go up into the name of the group that you're in and go out down into the details, and you can actually go into just the posts of the articles that they post or the media that they've posted.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if you're in a large group that, 100 posts a day or something like that, you can actually weed some stuff out if that's what you're interested in. But yeah, there's some groups that I probably should have gotten off of, but, they're just sitting there. I just clean it out once in a while.
it's really funny because I've joined, I've been on a couple, I've been on a couple Discord servers. I've been in a couple little places here and there, but generally, other than Twitter, I'm really not that active on social networks. Like I don't use WhatsApp or a bunch of other ones. And like, I don't know, it just I'm either old or antisocial. So I'm not sure. I might need an antisocial network.
Well, that's the kind of cool thing again about Clubhouse though. Like, yes, you might get in a room where they're really like, come talk to me, but you can always say no. They don't take offense if you're like maybe later, but that's the thing where you can be part of. Like I've been in a lot of rooms where I'm just really shy and I'm like, I'm just gonna sit and listen and just gather the information, and it's totally cool that way too.
Mm-hmm. And the real thing is it's real time, and once you leave, the door's shut, it's gone, so you don't have to go back and read everybody's thing, and it gets convoluted that way. And that's what I think it's really nice about it, that it's just a chat. It's like you're in a bus stop and there's 5 people in there and you start talking and you don't even know anybody, but you're all having a good time, and then you just all leave and there's no strings attached to any part of it. Yeah, the phone number is one thing. You got that in WhatsApp. You got that in Marco Polo. You got that in Clubhouse. At first, when they first started using the phone number thing, I was like, no way. And now today we're pretty much desensitized from some of that.
Well, Facebook still doesn't have my phone number. I refuse because it's Facebook. But the fun thing too about Clubhouse is there are legit celebrities on there. Like, and they are active on there. Like, you'll get notifications of if there's celebrities that you follow. Like, there was one notification that popped up that was like, MC Hammer is in this group. And I was like, what in the world?
I saw him.
Yeah.
I saw him.
Yeah, they're legit. Like, and it's real conversations. Wow. It's not this like PR staged crap. Like, it's real conversations. A lot of them will take questions, like if they're hosting the room for whatever the purpose is. But sometimes they're just in there to listen to the topic as well.
Oh,
like,
and I saw Jeff Thompson was in there.
Oh, you mean Jeff Thompson from Blind Abilities?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, wreck my moment.
You tried to get fancy there. I was not going to let you. But I mean, that's a really cool aspect of it too, is like that level of connection that you can have with somebody that maybe is a public figure that I don't think any other app would offer you that real exposure. Because I was talking about that with my husband and he was like, well, it's probably just their handlers handling it. I was like, yeah, that might be true about their Instagram, their Twitter, and their Facebook. But on Clubhouse, it's your voice. So if that's not really the person that it's supposed to be, like people will know very quickly. So it's more real.
Yeah, it was neat to see MC Hammer in there because other apps just can't touch this. Can't touch this. I think it's really a neat upstart and someone else that invested $100 million in it. I think it's here to stay. They're actually a new player in the social media groups up there.
Big time.
Because they got something. It's always been something that I wanted the audio. We had Audio Boom back in the day, Audio Boo, where it was just your voice. But this is, you're all in it at once, just like a Zoom meeting where everyone's pictures and all that stuff. But this is just voice. This is really cool. It really can fit the blindness community pretty well.
Very much so. I will add that and I don't know how they're going to solve this problem. Maybe they'd have to get an integration like how Google Meet has the live captions, but the hard of hearing and deaf community is quite upset about with Clubhouse right now. And again, it's all in beta, so maybe in time that will be something that they integrate with, having some live captions or things like that.
Sure.
I will say, as I was looking, because you can scroll and try to find people to follow, and I typed in like disability just to find people that are like-minded, and there was quite a few that identified as deaf or hard of hearing, but in their profile, they were very vocal about, I will come back when it's accessible. I was like, wow, okay. So that's definitely a hard hurdle to jump through because the live captioning technology is not cheap. They'd have to definitely somehow integrate that with Google or something.
Another thing that is coming out, and some beta testers are doing it, but it's really neat to hear the clamor going on, is being able to unlock your phone by your Apple Watch if you're wearing a mask. I thought that was really good because when I get into an Uber or something like that, first thing I want to do is pull up my phone. Then I got to punch in my code, and it's like, but there's certain things like facial recognition not recognized, like if you're doing something, if say you're paying for something, oh my gosh. And as soon as you pull your mask down, the driver's going to look in his rearview mirror probably and see what the heck you're doing. But I think it's really cool.
Well, and honestly, I'm kind of surprised. I mean, when I read that, I'm like, that's actually really smart. But like Serina said earlier, it's like, it's one of those things that like really that doesn't exist already, because not just for wearing masks, but I mean, just for convenience sake, if you're wearing your watch and you have your phone with you, it's kind of like where you could unlock your Mac if you had your phone next to it or something. You didn't have to type in your password. And then if you're wearing a mask or if you're not wearing a mask, I was thinking about, totally blind users who some people can use Face ID pretty well, but some people still do struggle with it. And if they have an Apple Watch, that would just be a kind of a convenient alternate way to do that if they had both devices. But I'm kind of surprised that it hasn't actually happened already.
Well, what I don't understand though, because I did look at the article and it said that it had to be your Apple Watch had to have the passcode enabled on it and be unlocked. And I don't know about you guys, but I never put the passcode on my Apple Watch because that screen's too darn small to try to type in a passcode. So that piece is where I don't quite understand it.
I have a passcode on mine, but you can do the passcode with VoiceOver though.
Yeah, I know, but it's a very small screen. And it's an Apple Watch.
Yeah,
I'm like,
is.
how much data are you really going to get from it?
It's like when you set up a phone from start, when you touch the 9, you touch it, then you double tap, then you touch the next number and you double tap. You can set it up for 4 numbers or you can do the long one. So that's nice that it's only that. But once you have that locking feature, the nice thing about that is if say inadvertently someone got your phone in it because they got your phone, you can actually lock your phone back up from your watch then. That feature I liked.
I didn't know that. Well, good to know. Yeah, I never enabled the passcode because I was like, it's my watch. Does it ask for the passcode every time you try to do something on the watch? I mean,
no. It's the only time that it'll ask you is when after you charge it and you put it on for the first time, or maybe you fidget with it a little bit. And it's basically when the bottom of the sensor of your watch, when it loses contact
with your phone,
with your wrist for a few
Okay.
seconds, then you'll have to enter in your PIN again. But like, no, I pretty much for the most part, the only time I really hit it in, I have enough vision where I can't really read the numbers, but like I know the keypad layout and I can see it well enough to go, I know kind of where the numbers are, so I can do it well enough to enter my PIN. But yeah, it's only when your wrist loses contact with the watch for a few seconds.
That helps a lot, because I was like, God, that'd be annoying.
Yeah, no, because I can touch my watch right now and I can just zoom around and it's totally fine.
Okay.
Or unless you haven't started up your phone yet. If your phone is locked down and you decide to put your watch on, if you start your phone up, it's like when you're wearing your watch and you go up to your iMac and it opens up, your watch will do that when you open your phone up. So if you're using your phone, your watch is alive.
That's good to know. Oh, I might try it then, because like the mask thing is annoying. Like when it's like face not recognized, and you're like, dang it.
I've just gotten so used to it. It's like, it's annoying, but like I said, see, that's why I didn't get the iPhone 12, because I'm hopefully theoretically waiting for next year when Touch ID will come back.
Ooh, to the side button.
Yeah.
I would see it coming to the side button before it comes to like the screen, because they've already got the side button technology now. Yeah,
because it's in the iPad Air. But I don't know. I like I said, I'm not going to worry about anything until September when they actually announce it. But I've heard both rumors about the side button and the under the touchscreen sensor. So who knows?
Could be neither. You never know.
You're making my new phone feel old.
I heard some really interesting news, though, just the other day. Newsflash, there's going to be a new iPhone 2 years from now.
That's kind of their cycle. Like, it's every 3 years. Like, it's not hard to figure out.
Well, I mean, I know. I mean, I'm being
that's crazy.
snarky.
Yeah, I figured you were. It's just
I'm being
so
snarky
funny.
just because it's like it's like, oh, well, we're not even released with the first phone yet or our first device yet, but no, we got to have something for the next 2 or 3 devices. Rumors. I'm like, dude, just chill.
Well, and there's already like, what did we count 5? New, because there's the
5.
SE and then the
SE
4 different versions of the 12s. That's a lot to choose from especially when you think, because not everyone is like as technology savvy or oriented or even cares as much as we do. Could you imagine going to the store? You're like, my phone broke, I need a new one. And they're like, yeah, here you go. Here's the 5 models to choose from.
I know. Like, and you want to do a demo for these. Okay, what phone do you have? Okay, forget that. We'll go with this way. Oh, you have that phone? Let's use this demo. Because some people don't have all the features, especially when you get up into the LiDAR and stuff like that, where you got the Max and the other 12 Pro. So it's getting convoluted. It's kind of like when you talk about Androids, it's like people go, what software are you on? What version do you have?
The ironic thing about Android, and it was actually kind of frustrating, believe it or not, is I read something about a week and a half ago. So for the past while at work, when people are like, oh, if they want to go Android, and because usually they not necessarily the Samsung phones, but several models of Android you can get for significantly cheaper than iOS. But, they've leveled that out with the SE and that now. But what we would recommend is we would recommend the Pixel brand phones because they were made by Google. And, the thing with the fragmentation of Android and depending on the carrier, depending on the manufacturer, one of the things that drives me nuts about Android is that you never know when you're going to get updates. Apple releases an update, and as long as your phone is supported, boom, you can get it pretty much right away. Android, you really don't know that. And at least we sort of knew that the Pixel phones were going to get the updates at least pretty much right away or soonish. Well, then they pulled a 180 on us about a week ago, and they announced an update to TalkBack, the Android screen reader. Only the interesting thing is they were apparently partnering with Samsung. And so now they were going to release that TalkBack accessibility update first on the Samsung phones. So they totally went, oh yeah, remember how you get the Pixel to get upgrades first? No, we're going to mess that up on you. I'm like, really, guys?
That's frustrating.
That was just a really frustrating thing, especially when it was a few years ago when it was version 4.1 to 4.2 of Android, and there was a lot of people that would come in for tech assessments, and they bought a cheap Android phone. And if they had version 4.1, Google did not have, they just bought that phone at the time. And they bought that phone, and a lot of those models weren't getting the 4.2 update. The problem is we had low vision clients come in, and when 4.2 came out, they added the triple tap the screen for full screen magnification gestures. 4.1 did not have that, and then they said, oh, well, here's my phone. Can you enable that for me? And I looked at the version number and went, oh, well, I'm sorry, but you have to have version 4.2 of the software, and, Google or Motorola or whatever brand you had may or may not get that update. And it was so frustrating to some people because the accessibility was kind of gated behind an operating system update, but you weren't able to get said operating system update unless you just happened to get lucky. So that was really frustrating.
Yeah, I've never understood how I'm actually kind of surprised that Google hasn't continued to prioritize their phones and say no matter what, you're going to have the latest and greatest. It's really just odd.
That's why I was so surprised to see, we partnered, because I saw it on Twitter and there's like, hey, we're getting a new TalkBack update. And then I read and we're partnering with Samsung. And I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It seems like Samsung and the TalkBack, their version is always a step up. I'm sure Android users would all be chewing on us right now for even dabbling in this area, but
they both have their quirks. I do have a Pixel 3a XL phone that I bought. It was, the cheapest one that I could get. I don't have a SIM card in it. I'm basically just using it as a Android-ish iPod kind of a thing. I'm just using it as an Android testing device. Samsung's screen reader and TalkBack, they both have their quirks and they both have their advantages, but I found myself kind of going to TalkBack more just because it's more universal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the thing with VoiceOver on the iPhone, whether you got the SE or if you got the Max Pro, whatever, the accessibility features, the function, the gestures and all that are basically all the way through. If you can do it on one phone, you can use the other phone. The updates are the same, but now with the 12 Pro and the Max, you do have a couple other things there going for you. But other than that, if you're teaching on an iPhone, you can teach on any iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. That's always confused me back in the ice cream sandwich or the different names that they had and all that. And
I love those. That was the one thing I loved about Android because back in the day, it got me to really get into buying Kit Kats for a while because I was craving some of those. They're pretty good.
Kit Kats are the best.
I know, right? They're great.
Kit Kats and Twix. They're my favorite.
Oh, peanut butter Twix, though.
No, did you know that there's a cookies and cream Twix now?
Yeah.
I love
I'm a
that
Reese's
one.
guy myself, though, too. The guy who invented peanut butter and chocolate combination, genius.
You're not a peanut butter person, huh, Serina?
Peanut butter's I can take it or leave it kind of thing. It's not my favorite, but if somebody gives me candy that has peanut butter in it, I'm not going to refuse it, Oh,
I love peanut butter.
I'm more of I love anything fruity, like gummy bears from Sprout. If you need me to do something for you, that's where those are my absolute favorite because they're very unique. I'm not sure if anyone's ever had the gummy bears from Sprouts, but they taste different than any you can buy at a regular store because they're more fresh and they're fruitier. That and Twix and things like that.
Twix are pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I got something for you to choose from. In the next update to iOS, Facebook is maybe upset, but Apple's going to give you a choice on the apps. There's going to be identifiers, and you can opt in for tracking or not. What do you think about that?
I think I'm going to opt out of it for Facebook because I'm getting a little frustrated with them right now. I'm tired of mentioning something in conversations. I know we've talked about this. Facebook has sworn they don't record you, but how does it happen then that I'm just talking about something? I have not Googled it. I have not shopped for it.
Oh yeah,
nothing. And all of a sudden,
it's not just Facebook. I swear, Google and Amazon and everybody's in.
Oh, Amazon's bad too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm like, dude,
hold on.
Yeah, I never searched for something.
A Kit Kat ad just popped up on my screen.
Right next to the Reese's one, right?
Yeah.
We're all going to have candy ads on our phones for the next 3 days.
Yum.
So I'm totally going to opt out of it. It'll be interesting to see how my ads change.
The main thing I want from a future iOS update is, opt me out of the tracking thing, but if somebody could find a way, I swear to God, I am getting so annoyed I got 2 in the span of an hour today of these stupid, ridiculous car auto warranty phone calls.
Oh, they're bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, they're bad. It's so hard.
several times a week.
I've been getting two. I believe it was either Rocky or Angie brought this. I think it was Angie. I get the text messages, but now they don't just come from phone numbers. They come from these really sketchy looking email addresses now.
Yes, I've gotten one of those like the night or two before. I think right before to bed. I'm like, what the heck? Who's
And
texting
it comes
me?
via iMessage. So they're doing it from an iPad somewhere.
Yep. They used to just infect my work iPhone, but now my personal iPhone is even getting them. And like I block every number and they still sometimes twice a day.
This is a warning. Your auto warranty is now ready to expire.
Oh, yeah.
I have a couple of stories for you guys. So there's one, like my work phone, like I work for state government, and like I don't even know how long I had it for, but this like super inappropriate text message came through, and it was a group message. And I was like, oh my God, I have to delete this so fast. I mean, it was clearly spam, but you know, when it's a work phone, you're like, it's a little bit more nerve wracking because you don't want them to think you did something on there. But then it's also fun to get the ones that are like, this is the county police department and you have a warrant out for your arrest. And it's like, really? If I really, they have the, and then there's that one comes out a lot. And this one gets elderly quite a bit, is the Social Security one.
Oh yeah. I've heard about that one. I haven't gotten those two yet, but
call us, be prepared, and have your credit card ready.
yeah.
It's not even proper English, like if you pay attention. The one that looks really legit, though, which could really get you, especially during the holidays, they were doing this. You'd get a text either from FedEx or that appeared to be from Amazon, and they'd be like, we tried to deliver your package. Click here. You know, you weren't available. And we know how Amazon works. We know how FedEx works. Like, it's not that hard to figure out if a package was on the way. But a lot of people don't know that.
And I always joked with with people that, like, you mentioned that, you get these messages and they're just worded strangely or something. Is like the moment the spam and stuff gets really scary is when these scammers and stuff, when they do actually learn proper English, because like now it's like, oh no, that's clearly just that's not even a complete sentence. But when they do, just so many more people are going to get.
For sure. And they have some now that are really conversational. I'm not sure if you've gotten them, but it'll be like, hey, this is Bob. I was just calling. I was returning your call. Like, it sounds, they are getting worse, but it's very clearly a recording if you really pay attention to it. But they are getting smarter about it.
I don't know how you stop it either.
It's hard because I was blocking every number every time, but that's a fruit. Like, it doesn't even.
I know. I started trying to block them, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to, because it's just not doing any good.
No, exactly.
No. I get these ones from Guitar Center. Guitar Center, they sell musical instruments and stuff. Hi, this is Bob from Guitar Center. Just want to see how you're doing. It's like, whoa. That
sounds legit. I mean, that could be like, that's hard because like.
It could be that they're just checking up on me, seeing if I need equipment, but it's just weird, like if Walgreens calls me up and says, hey, this is Sam from Walgreens. Yeah.
How's your day?
Yeah. Aisle 3 is having a big sale. Just want to know the Pringles, the small pack on sale.
Nope. That's where the adult diapers are, Jeff.
Ooh.
And you would know this because
Ira's free there. She knows everything now.
Jeff is the one that was talking about using Ira at Walgreens, not me.
Hey, it really was neat because when the person told me, the purple box down on the right on the top shelf, well, then I just had Ira because it's free there. Just boom, and I walked down there, and it was kind of neat. It's free and independence, I guess. It really does feel good sometimes.
There are add-ons, like, I'm just too cheap to pay for it because I have 2 lines, but I know Verizon has a thing where you can get more information about the number that's calling you, and they block more of the robocalls. Like, I had a free trial when I first switched, and it was really nice because unprogrammed numbers would come up as, like, the company name, or if it was spam, it was more clearly identified than it just saying potential spam. I have noticed that it's getting to be a little bit less.
They really shouldn't charge for those because it's gotten to be, it's such a problem that it's just like, it's like its own pandemic. It's just, an epidemic. It's just going everywhere.
Well, and Apple has that thing built into where if you ever have noticed and you looked at your phone and it's like the numbers on there and you're like, my phone didn't ring, but if you let it finish, it'll be like junk, silenced call or whatever. So that's helping a little too.
But when your doctor calls from 6 different phones every day, it's just not that they call me 6 times, but
it's 6 different doctors. It's okay, Josh. You can tell us.
Going back to
You
running
set
through the snow
yourself
with
up
my
for
invite. No. No, but the doctor doesn't mean he's calling from his phone. He's in his office. He's calling from this phone. So that gets sent right away to, nowhere land, and I miss it.
Well, and that's part of the reason that I'm a little leery about trying some of these like services, whether it's through the phone company or an app or anything, because, okay, what if I order groceries and they need to call me when they show up? Like, do those calls go through? Or if I order a pizza or, any number of just incidental things, like, are those also going to get blocked? Like, I don't know how.
No, they usually will still come through because it's almost like crowdsourcing in a way.
Okay.
When I had AT&T, like you could go into, I forgot what it was called, Call Protect. And if it was a scam number, you could go and mark it as like spam. And then after it's flagged so many times as that, then it gets added to like the spam list. Now,
Gotcha.
They change their numbers a million times. I mean, a million people or whatever say this Domino's pizza is a scam number. Like and especially if it's a registered number to, I don't even know if the yellow pages exist anymore, but if it's like registered to a business, if you were to Google that number, it's going to still come through.
Right.
Now the ghost numbers from Uber, Lyft and stuff, I've never had any problem with those coming through too.
Those scammers and stuff are pretty interesting themselves, It's like, what a life.
Well, my sister got a scam call from her own phone number. So that tells you how uncreative they were.
From her own phone number.
Because they have the technology where they can
That's
spoof
impressive.
any number, essentially.
They're in the house.
Do
you like scary movies?
Yeah. It's definitely bad. Maybe they'll do some legislation on it. I mean, the do not call thing doesn't do anything anymore.
No, that's worthless.
Say you'd want to get the spam email away and it says, no, I want to unsubscribe. And then I hate when it goes to a thing and says, just put your email in here and we'll unscribe you from it. No.
We're like, no, that's not how it works.
You're starting a new list.
Yeah.
Right. It's hard to know whether you should unsubscribe because if you do that, then you're confirming them, oh, this is an active email address.
Gold standard. We gotta keep her, Edith.
I will say, if you use Gmail, the Gmail, you can do it. I don't know where you do it on the Gmail like web interface because I've just never messed with it too much. But on the Gmail app on your phone, there's a little, it's kind of like the Apple one where you can just hit unsubscribe and it does it for you for most of them. Some of them, it'll say you have to go to the website and click unsubscribe. But for most of them, it will. And it works. Like I went to town the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so like empowering. Like, and it's literally one click.
It's my Hotmail that's the bad one.
Who uses Hotmail anymore?
Dude, I've had that account since like 1997. Thank you very much.
Wow.
And that's my point. Dude, I didn't even know Microsoft still had Hotmail.
They're under the Outlook thing, but you can still use it. So yeah, no, I mean, I don't use it for a lot of my communication, but I use it for like if I order something and, for that type of thing.
Yeah, because they'll keep emailing you newsletters and stuff.
Yep. That's what that account's for.
But when it comes down to the Facebook Apple battle, I think Apple's doing a good thing by letting us have that. It's kind of a leverage that they have over Facebook a little bit because we're giving the people the choice. I really wonder how pissed off Facebook really is because they say they're probably going to be losing 60% of their business in a sense. Wow.
Well, I mean, that's how a lot of these, even like YouTube and things like that, that's how they make a lot of their ad revenue money for tracking and whatnot.
They'll find a way. They always do.
Tim Cook gave a little, he didn't mention Facebook in it, but it's a really good speech that he gave. And it really talks about, privacy. We used to be able to target our customers the old fashioned way, but now we don't have to use all these algorithms that lead to social unrest and all sorts of stuff. And it was really good. It was really real.
It's very clear who he was referring to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to say names, but it might start with an F.
Well, it's funny though. I mean, Facebook's like having a cow, but has Twitter said anything about this? Because Twitter uses ads too, and it doesn't seem as though they're having a cow. Yeah,
I just use the regular Twitter app on my phone, and like it seems like every like 5 or 6 tweets, there's like a sponsored thing that I just flick through.
Yeah,
it's not nearly as targeted as the Facebook ones, but they. I mean, it's just interesting how different people are reacting.
Well, another thing is like if you're watching TV or something like. I'll take a break and go out and catch up on some news or something. Say I'm on CNN. It seems like the commercials are just as long as the spot that they're doing on the news. And then they go to a commercial and it's like another 4 minutes of commercial, then 4 minutes of news. It's almost a 50-50 split going on here.
That, my friend, is why I don't watch network TV or regular TV unless it's maybe like football, because I get everything through like Amazon or Netflix or someplace where I can I might have to pay a couple bucks, but you know what? I get rid of the ads because it just drives me like for that crazy for that very reason. And when I go home to see my parents, I'm like, they watch TV all the time, especially at night. And I'm like, how do you watch this? This is awful.
I am right there with you, Jesse. Like
I can't do it.
When Hulu came up with the ad free, I was like, yes, please. Which, speaking of which, I don't think I shared this link with you guys. I need to investigate it because we're going to switch to it. Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu with no ads now has a bundle where it's only $20 for all three.
Oh, really?
Yeah, brand new as of today. It used to be
I hadn't heard that
to get
yet,
the bundle, you had to, have the ad supported Hulu. And we're like, we are not having ads on Hulu. No, it's bad on Hulu. It's like 2 minutes of ads in every break of the show. It's bad.
See, I wanted to do that bundle, but I didn't for that very reason, because you could only get that bundle with the ads. And I'm like, well, no. I mean, I think 9 to 5 Mac released an article. I feel like that's where I read it, but you can just Google it. It just came out to either today or yesterday. I got the year of Disney Plus through Verizon, but mine just ours expired like 2 months ago. Mine expired too, and so I was like, well, I mean, I'm keeping it for now, but if I can get a better deal, I'll cancel it through Verizon and just get it. Do some research because I'm gonna have to do some research too, because I'd like to be able to just keep the same Disney Plus account. See, that's what I was just going to wonder. And I think there's a way to do it. I mean, it's on Disney.com, DisneyPlus.com, where you can see the bundles, and they're really good with their FAQs. So I bet there's a way you can still keep the account. I was wondering about being able to keep the same, and the Hulu account, like have it all merge. I had a Hulu account, but I canceled it because I just wasn't watching it enough. So it's deactivated for now. But
speaking about movies, shows, audio description on Apple TV Plus, I watched Palmer, and JT's in there. Not me, but Mr. Justin Timberlake, and it's the good JT. The good JT. It's a really good movie. You just keep setting yourself up for it. It was a really good movie. The audio. I have not watched it. What's the premise of it? Like, what's it about? I'll have to try my movie trailer voice. After 12 years in prison, former high school football star Eddie Palmer, played by Justin Timberlake, returns home to put his life back together and forms an unlikely bond with Sam, an outcast boy from a troubled home. But Eddie's past threatens to ruin his new life and family. I really liked it because JT plays an unlikely role, kind of like Sling Blade or something like that. That type of movie where he's kind of quiet, but his actions speak louder than his voice, and what he stands for comes through. So it's really good. It deals with some stuff of acceptance, people who are a little bit different or may appear different, and challenges the norms of what is accepted and what is not, and especially the trappings that come with being based in somewhat of a small town. It's just a pretty good movie. And it's audio described. And on Apple TV Plus. Apple TV Plus is still free through like July. I really didn't watch all that much on there. I poked at a couple of things early on, but then I forgot about it. And this last weekend, actually, I finally got around. I'm like, I should watch this before mine does expire. That C series, I finally got around to watching that, and that was a weird one. I couldn't get into it. It was super... I thought it was very weird too. It's a little slow. Like you really have to wait until the kids become adults, and then things kind of pick up, or they become teenagers and then they can do things. But like the first couple episodes are kind of meh, but then it gets it picks up from there a little bit, and it gets really bizarre. Je ne suis pendejo. I disagree. Jason Momoa, Brie Klauser, Joe Strechay, they've all been on the podcast, except for Jason Momoa. But yeah, good stuff. I really liked it. Something that I watched all the way through. I'm waiting for season 2, which should be coming out soon, I bet. There was one show I really enjoyed, and I cannot remember the title of it. Something Jacob. Defending Jacob. Yeah, I saw this. It's based on a book. Yeah, it's because I when I started watching it, I was like, this sounds vaguely familiar. It is so good. You have to watch that. It is a very, very good series. Definitely watch that, Jesse. It's a really, really good one. Very well acted, and
unpredictable. Even though I'm bad, I'll read a book and forget how it ended 2 months later.
Well, like I said, I know I've read the book, but I don't remember even really all that much about what it was about. I just remember
It'll
reading
come
it
right
and
back
it was
to
pretty
you.
good.
Like,
but, oh yeah, I'm sure
first
it will.
episode, you'll be like, yeah, this sounds familiar, but I don't remember how it ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alicia Wainwright is the other one with the Justin Timberlake. And then there's another movie, well audio described too. And it's really a tense all the way through. You know, they keep that tension moving throughout the whole thing. It's called Greenland. It's just really good. I don't know if you guys remember Phantom of the Opera.
Oh goodness, you're not selling it to me now at all.
No, the actor that played the Phantom is in there.
Okay.
Jared Butler, he played in it. And it's about some meteors coming from outer space and ready to hit the Earth and stuff, and they come in series. But you know what? The family story twist and how they have to get someplace and just the whole thing about how people react when some catastrophe hits. And it's believable. That's the big thing. You know what I mean? They don't go off and like Zor from, I know you like that, Jesse. Jesse
Magic
would love it.
powers.
Yeah. He's not raining things down on this planet Earth. But the actors and the story layout is really well done. And I thought I give it 2 thumbs up, you know, and I'm just Jeff Thompson.
I've been just obsessed with Cobra Kai.
What is that actually about? Like, everyone keeps mentioning it. I have no
so
clue
good.
what it, like, what, is it like a superhero thing or?
No, Cobra Kai. You remember the Karate Kid movies from the 80s?
Yeah.
It's
Wax on, wax off.
the series started on YouTube as a YouTube premium thing, and then it switched over to Netflix in season 3. It picks up with Johnny and Daniel when they're adults, and Johnny is kind of, he's just bumming around, he's just not really doing much. He's like a kind of a maintenance or kind of a repair guy, and just nothing really going well. And, it's mainly Johnny's story, but Daniel is a big part of it. And you get a whole new group of kids that either join Cobra Kai in the beginning, but then Daniel ends up opening his Miyagi dojo. And it gets crazier in a way as the seasons go on. We're on season 3 right now. And I thought, I'll look at it because I had YouTube Premium at the time, thinking it was going to be just really dumb and cheesy, just like a cash in. And it's actually really good.
I might check it out, because everyone keeps talking about it.
It's really good. And it is audio described.
Netflix is that's the thing that you can love about Netflix. I am impatiently waiting. I'm kind of curious. March is right around the corner. Do you think it'll be beginning of March or March 31st when we get our HBO Max audio description stuff? I
have no idea.
Because they have to do it by March 31st. And I just cannot wait to there's so many old series that I want to watch with audio description.
Like Marching with the Penguins?
No.
You don't like penguins?
Is that an HBO thing? I thought that was like a Disney thing.
Oh, I have no idea. I was just thinking
You're just
about
making
March.
Stuff over.
Oh, you said
there.
March a few times. I'm thinking,
Oh,
what do I know
goodness.
about March? When
I'm just
Johnny
so
comes
excited, 'cause,
marching home again, hurrah.
3 years from now, they're going to have 6,000 hours of audio description.
6,000
Yeah,
hours.
it's a massive amount.
It's funny because I never really used to use audio description all that much, but I've used it more lately, mainly because it's been available more places just conveniently. But there's been a lot of shows where it'll be, especially for me, it'll be in English, but then there'll be certain characters or scenes that kind of are reoccurring, and they do the subtitle thing. I'm like, well, crap, now I'm losing out on half the story. So I kind of need that, if nothing else, just for the subtitle.
Have you ever been watching a show and the subtitles come on and voiceover starts reading the subtitles too? It's like,
Yes.
no.
That's cool.
No.
You can turn it off, though.
I know.
You can turn that off. It's annoying. It's super, especially when it's audio described anyways. Ugh.
Well, yeah.
And you just heard the
worst.
person say the words, then it's reading them down below. It's like, okay, wait, whoa. Back up.
Move focus.
Too much accessibility.
Yes.
That seems to be a problem. So, Jesse, what do you got coming up? Anything exciting?
Just working from home and keeping up on the old YouTube channel, illegally cited YouTube channel.
I love that title,
And
by the way.
that was actually one of my brighter moments. I've really grown to like it.
Did you run out in the snow
thank
and
you.
trounce around and wave your
No, only Mr. Thompson does that.
But no, I mean, I typically, I unlock videos Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, and it's a variety of different types of content. And so there's, games and tech and VR and all kinds of other stuff. And I'm getting involved more in like game accessibility consulting.
Oh, that's awesome.
Tech consulting, and there's a couple projects that I can't talk about right now, but they're really, really
darn
cool.
NDAs.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why I'm really glad, since I am at home all of the time, I'm glad that I have so many things to kind of bounce back and forth between, not just, reading or listening to music or playing games. I've kind of just, whether it's work or whatever, it's just nice to, like I couldn't just sit in a recliner and just sit there and do one or two things and that's it, because I would go insane. Getting back into drums, trying to play my drum set more, my electronic drum kit, because I'm in an apartment, and if I had a real one, they would evict me. But
that's still pretty cool.
It's a blast.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. So definitely check out the YouTube channel and keep it busy.
Illegally cited on YouTube. That's great. How about you, Serina? Serina.
I was like, who is Serina?
There's another woman, Serina.
Oh, at least you didn't call me Sarah this time. I was Sarah for a good 3 episodes.
Well, hey, you called me. There was once you called me. Was it John? You called me John.
That's possible. Who knows?
So, Serina.
Jeffrey.
What do you got going on?
Not a thing.
Really?
No, I mean, I'm doing a little bit more freelance work as normal, but that's my copywriting and helping with social media, a little bit of audio description consultation, but not a whole lot going on. Getting used to my new job. Hopefully our construction project will be done soon.
Oh, good.
I'm ready for it to be done, but not a whole lot else going on.
So if people were interested in social media stuff and connecting up and finding out what you could do for them to help them get their word out across the world.
Yeah, you might like this one, Jesse. It's Insightful Visions Media.
Oh, there you go.
That took me, I had some help with that. So you can find that on Facebook, Insightful Visions Media.
There you go.
What are you up to, Mr. Thompson?
Well, you mentioned it earlier. I was busy last Sunday because we have hockey. Hockey started up again, and we do it with masks on, and we can't be in the locker rooms. We have to be sitting further apart and stuff like that while we're getting ready. We have to come pretty much full dressed, so we're not, they're eliminating the time where you're all in one area for such a long period of time, and not more than 2 people can be on the bench at one time. So there's certain rules, regulations, but we're out there skating. And I tell you what, it seems like we got our hands tied behind our back because we don't know how long this is going to last or if they're going to lock down anymore. So at least we're getting out there doing the skates, but we all feel like we're out of shape. Like we can't skate elsewhere.
It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's why I just wanted to kind of get back into drumming again. Just was like, just get me moving and doing stuff again.
Yeah, so that's exciting. They canceled the big event that was going to happen in Philadelphia again this year, in Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, all you Pennsylvanians. In Pittsburgh, they canceled that. That would have been the U.S. hockey team, but it's really neat. We got some stuff coming up in June and hopefully for the next year. So by the time I'm 90, I should be able to play hockey. So it's
just so funny because, if you think about it, like it's February. This time last year, we were just all sitting like, oh, that's weird that they're talking about this coronavirus overseas. Huh.
Yeah.
And then a month later, you're like,
It's just so amazing that a whole year has gone by since all this started,
Pretty much, yeah.
And
Oh, I have no concept of linear time anymore. I'm like, what?
I just go by what season it is outside now.
Yeah.
Like it started last spring. We're almost to spring again.
I just have no concept of like actual
even days
linear...
of the week. It's like, oh, it's already, Thursday tomorrow. Holy cow.
Thank God for calendars, because otherwise I'd be like, oh wait, I have that thing.
Remember
today.
when Puxatumi came out and spring was going to be really close? Well, that didn't happen this year.
Nope.
Now we have to wait another year for that.
He was scared of all the snow.
Oh.
Poor guy.
Well, Jesse, thanks for coming on.
No problem.
It's been great.
Good to be here again.
Serina, I got it right. I should get it right by now, right?
It's been a few years, Jeff. I would think that you would be able to get my name right.
Well, voiceover says it Serina.
Serina.
I've done
Yes,
that
it
in
does.
public with people sometimes. Like
I've done it.
I was presenting an award to someone and I said their name exactly how Jaws said it back in the day. And
It is
like,
the worst when that happens. Like,
Yes.
so embarrassing.
Well, and there's just certain words that everyone just mispronounces. Like for the longest time, I thought it was webiner,
what?
Instead of webinar.
not a webinar.
Oh.
Well, I thought it was
That's the way screen readers say it.
coronavirus instead of coronavirus.
Oh,
Because it's one word.
like what is a webiner?
Then you're like, oh, read by letter. Gotcha.
If you
Josh
know what a
pronounces things
webiner
so
is,
weird.
give us a call at 612-367-9063 and let us know what a webiner is.
Webiner.
There you
A
go.
webiner.
That is the word of the day.
Webiner. And coronavirus?
Cornavirus. That's how Jaws pronounces it.
Sounds like a carnivorous dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of coronavirus, it's cornavirus.
Beware.
I picture like a dinosaur from Jurassic Park or something.
It just makes you feel so dumb because, like, last year when everyone was talking about it, I was like, I thought it was pronounced cornavirus. And I was like, why is everybody? Because
Breaking news, folks. Did you see that Godzilla and King Kong is coming back to the movie theaters?
Yep.
Like the classic ones?
No, a new
No,
one.
they're making.
For how many, like, how many times has Godzilla been remade? Like,
Oh, there's tons of Godzilla.
Yeah.
movies.
It's one of those things.
Hollywood's just out of ideas.
Yeah.
No, I know.
And so are we. Thank you all for listening. And until next time, bye-bye.
And then cue our funky music, right?
And for more podcasts with the Blind News Perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities, drop us an email at info@blindabilities.com, and download the free Blind Abilities app from the App Store and Google Play Store. That's 2 words, Blind Abilities. And from all of us here at Blind Abilities, through these challenging times, to you, your family, and friends, stay well, stay informed, and stay strong. I want to thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, bye-bye.
When we share
what we see
through each other's eyes, we can then begin to bridge the gap between
the limited expectations
and the
reality
Of blind abilities.
the realities of blind abilities.
blind abilities.
For more podcasts with a blindness perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities, download our app from the App Store, blindabilities, that's 2 words, or send us an email at info@blindabilities.com. Thanks for listening.